Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Dad and Modern Lad, the YouTube channel and soon to be website. Just before the video starts, it's the 1 year anniversary of the channel and I'd like to thank everyone who has ever supported my channel and watched the videos. The channel has exceeded my expectations over the last year and I will continue to try and improve it and move it forward over the next year. But without further ado, let's move on to today's video. This is part 2 of my great Japanese import games under £50 for the Sega Saturn. These games are all listed on eBay for under £50 as of January 2019. And the estimated price is buy it now, but many of them go for a lot less at auction. The Sega Saturn is known for having some very expensive games. But this video aims to highlight great import games that are on the cheaper side, so let's look at the games. First up we have the excellent Vampire Savior, which is a 2D fighting game by Capcom. It plays fairly similar to the Street Fighter Vs games and it uses the Sega Saturn's 4MB RAM card. The game was a Japanese only game on the Sega Saturn and released in 1998, but its prequel Vampire Hunter did come west under the name Night Warriors Darkstalker's Revenge in 1996. In my opinion, this is a must-have for any 2D fighting fan, especially if you like Street Fighter, and will cost around £20 without the 4MB RAM card if you already have one, and around £30 if you need to get the 4MB RAM card with it. It is a conversion from the arcade, and by using the 4MB RAM card it manages to produce an excellent conversion to the Sega Saturn, and also kick the PlayStation version to the curb at the same time. So let's take a look at some gameplay. Strikers 1945 is a 2D shoot 'em up developed by Psycho and published by Atlas. With them two names on board, it automatically tells you that you're onto a winner. Released in 1995 in the arcade and converted to the Sega Saturn in 1996. As the name suggests, the game takes place at the back end of World War II. The game can be played in 1 or 2 player and costs around £35, which is quite cheap compared to its sequel, which can go for over £100. The game is really good value for money, especially when you consider some of the prices of other Sega Saturn shoot 'em ups, and it's a really good game, and the Transformer-like bosses look particularly impressive. The game features a selection of different aircrafts for the player to choose, and each one has different abilities, and there's also the option of different screen view types with 2 original and the arcade version. So let's check out some gameplay. Caillou Tenkai is a pinball game released in 1995 and costs around £48. Now let's get straight to the elephant in the room with this one and say it's only got 1 table. I know what you're thinking, that's expensive for 1 pinball table game, but this game is seriously fun with 3 characters to choose from, all having slightly different gameplay and specials and their own music. The board is split up into 3 sections: Heaven, Earth, Underworld, and also features bonus games that you can transport to. The board can be very challenging, but I really enjoy this game, and it's definitely one for people who enjoy beating high scores rather than those who prefer lots of content. This is an addictive game and one I find myself coming back to time and time again, so let's take a look at some gameplay. Anarchy in the Nippon is a 3D fighting game developed by Media Muse and was released in 1997 for the Sega Saturn. It plays very similar to Virtua Fighter 2, as Media Muse was comprised of ex-AM2 developers. The game even features 4 real-life Virtua Fighter tournament players. Graphically, the characters look good and the backgrounds are excellent. Gameplay-wise, it's all about close combat. There's no jumping button and you can't get too far away from your opponent. However, you can sidestep. I really got into this game because I'm a big fan of Virtua Fighter 2, and I saw a cheat online that said you could unlock Virtua Fighter characters in the game if you beat it with every character, but they must have been confused. In the Virtua Fighter tournament players, as far as I could find, the actual Virtua Fighter characters are not unlockable by completing the game with every character. But it made me realise how great this game is. The menus are all in Japanese, but there is a great online translation guide to help you navigate through these, and the trainer mode really helps you master each character. It's not as good as Virtua Fighter 2 Dead or Alive or Fighters Mega Mix, but around £12, it's an absolute bargain and a must for any 3D fighting game fan. So let's take a look at some gameplay.
Showdown! 2, fight!
Hat-Trick Hero is a football game by Taito and released in 1995. Now, it's one of the 3 football games I'd recommend you have in your collection. If you want a serious football sim-like game, get World League Soccer. If you want a half sim, half arcade game, get Worldwide Soccer. But if you like pure arcade action football games, Hat-Trick Hero is the best. It really comes into its own in multiplayer and supports the multi-tap for up to 4 players. The game's very fun with the ability to use points from winning to use specials for your team by pressing the C button when the ball is out of play. I need these special abilities to score because it is ridiculously hard to score. There is a couple of tactics you can use to score, but generally speaking you won't be banging them in from 30 yards. Not how many points you get depends on what special attribute you can use between super dash, sliding, feint, shoot and hyper shoot. And what other football game on the Saturn can you kung fu your opponents, punch them in the face, knock out the cameraman, and also blast the referee in the face with the ball and knock him down? And well, this.
Hey, what's happening? Throw in. Goal!
Layer Section 2 was released in 1987 for the Sega Saturn and is a 3D shoot 'em up. This game was exclusive to Japan on the Sega Saturn, however the first Layer Section was released in Europe and America in 1995 under the name Galactic Attack. That version, however, is a 2D shooter and is also excellent. Layer Section 2 looks really good graphically and gives players a selection of spacecrafts to choose from, each with different weapons and specials. There's a great variation in the level types, and also the game can be quite hard in places. This game can be listed on eBay for very high prices, but at the time I checked there was 3 copies for around £45 and a loose copy for £30. At them prices this game's well worth adding to your collection, and I'm a big fan of this game, so let's take a look at some gameplay. Myth, the icon, the legend that is Sega Saturn, appeared in the Japanese TV commercials for the Sega Saturn, and even had his own game released for the Sega Saturn in 1998. The game comprises of mini-games, and you play them to unlock TV commercial adverts to watch. Not only is this a great piece of Saturn history as the adverts are excellent, but most of the mini-games are also great fun. There is loads of variety and the in-game music is very catchy. The game will cost around £35, although you might have to be a little bit patient with this one, as I've noticed the price does seem to be rising. But I would highly recommend adding it to your collection. So let's take a look at some gameplay and a video.
もっと破壊しろ。入力しろ。正解。てい。てい。
遊びの道に魂込めた一人の男が今日も行く。真面目に遊ばぬ奴らには体で覚えさせるぞ。セガタサンしろ、セガタサンしろ、セガサタンしろ。とや！
Last episode I recommended X-Men vs Street Fighter, and also a must is this game, Marvel Superheroes vs Street Fighter. The game is a 2D fighter and makes use of the 4MB RAM cartridge. It's developed by Capcom and was released in 1998 for the Sega Saturn. It features an abundance of characters from Street Fighter Alpha 2, Marvel Superheroes and additional characters. The game uses a tag team feature much like X-Men vs Street Fighter. The Saturn version is a very good port of the arcade game and plays excellently. It'll cost around £45 with the 4MB RAM cartridge and around £38 without it. If you enjoy 2D fighters, this is a must have and another game better on the Saturn than the PlayStation. Game being a sort of sequel to X-Men vs Street Fighter, I've got to admit though, despite this being an excellent game that I definitely recommend you have in your collection, I do prefer X-Men vs Street Fighter, but that's just my preference. So let's take a look at some gameplay.
Come on! Web throw! Let's rock! Let's rock! Victory! Freedom!
Final! Tackle
You've been watching Retro Dad and Modern Lad, the YouTube channel and soon to be website. If you like this video, give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We got loads of videos mainly on Sega Saturn and Dreamcast, but also other retro modern computers. Thanks for listening and I'll see you soon. Bye.